I want to get the platinum trophies for the entire GTA series. In the last two videos I got my first two GTA platinums in Vice City and San Andreas, and now my journey towards completing the trilogy concludes in Liberty City. Just like in the two previous games, the main trophy I'll be working towards is for getting 100% completion. While doing this, I'll unlock almost every single trophy in the game apart from a few miscellaneous ones, and I'll also be focusing on getting these 4 missable trophies so I don't need to play the game a second time around. This game's a little bit more complicated than the previous two though, because this one has missable story missions. There are 50 story missions available and 10 of them are missable. Missing just one of these missions locks me out of getting 100%, so I had to be really careful to make sure this didn't happen. The game starts out with the main character Claude robbing a bank alongside Catalina, and upon leaving the bank she aims at Claude and shoots him after claiming she no longer needs him. Claude survives but is then arrested. He's now being transferred to serve a 10-year sentence, and as they reach the Callahan Bridge, the convoy gets ambushed by the Colombian cartel who are after the old man in the back. After the ambush, Claude and 8-Ball, the other man in the back, manage to escape seconds before the bridge gets blown up. Claude gets a link to the Mafia through 8-Ball and is given a mission by Luigi to pick up a girl and bring her back to his club. After doing this, I got the first day on the job trophy. A lot of the objectives in the game can become almost impossible to complete because of the over-aggressive gang members on the streets after completing certain missions. So the first thing I had to do on each island was complete all the stunts, collect all the hidden packages, complete all the rampages, and complete all the vehicle missions. I started off by doing the unique jumps, and after I completed the first one, I got the reckless driving trophy for doing a perfect insane stunt. After that I was doing some of the rampages, and after wasting 100 gang members, I got the street sweeper trophy. Now it was time for the vehicle missions, and I chose to start with the paramedic missions because I was warned multiple times that it was the hardest thing in the entire game. I admit it was pretty intense, but I managed to get it done in just 2 tries. During the later levels, I'd pause at the beginning and plan my route ahead. While I was taking the corners, I'd also use the handbrake instead of the regular brake because the handbrake stops the car from wobbling around the corners, and it also negates the risk of flipping the car and blowing it up. I also found a handful of shortcuts like this one through the trees behind the hospital, which saved me a lot of time as well. After that I went ahead and put out 15 fires in a row for the Splish Splash trophy, and then I did 5 more because I need to do 20 on each island for progress towards the 100%. I was doing taxi fares for the next few hours, and after doing 100 of them, I got another trophy. At this point I did almost everything on the first island except the vigilante mission and 1 rampage mission. Before I could do the vigilante mission, I needed to progress a little bit further into the story and get access to ammunition so I could buy an Uzi. I did have an Uzi at the safe house after collecting a bunch of hidden packages, but I didn't realise I could just save the game and the weapons would instantly respawn until later on. Now it's time to get the first missable trophy. I was asked by the Don's son, Joey, to steal a car and get it wired with a bomb. Then I had to take the car back without it getting damaged, so I carefully parked the car back in its original place, and after a short cutscene, I got the trophy. Straight after that I got my second missable trophy, and to get this one I had to take out Chunky Lee Chong with a car that was rigged with a bomb. There are multiple entrances you can escape from, and 2 of them have a car outside. After driving both cars to 8-Ball and arming the bombs, I chased him to one of the cars, and after it blew up I got the trophy. After that I killed 15 criminals during 1 vigilante mission for the Going Rogue trophy, and I also did 5 more of these for progress towards the 100%. After the vigilante missions, I went to the safe house to use my new police bribes to get rid of my wanted level, and I unlocked the escape artist trophy for using 20 police bribes. I was doing one of the missable missions for Joey, and for this I had to take a car with the body in the trunk to the crusher, and after the car was crushed I got the disposing of the evidence trophy. Now it's time to get another missable trophy, and for this I had to pick up 8 sex workers in a coach and drop them off at a police ball in Chinatown. At this point I noticed the blue phone icon on the map, and these are extra missions that you need to complete on each island for the 100%. So during one of these missions you have to race around Portland and finish the race in under 180 seconds, and this was super easy for me to do because I had a police car at the time and they are so fast and really easy to control. Then I completed the final rampage mission in Portland, which got me to $1 million for another trophy. So now it's time to get the final missable trophy in the game. I was doing missions for a man called Tony Cipriani, and he wants me to get rid of 3 triad warlords. During this mission I was joined by 2 mafia members, and I have to finish the mission while keeping both of them alive. This turned out to be pretty difficult because they die super quickly, and there's a ton of enemies in Chinatown at this point. Eventually I had a good run and survived the enemies in Chinatown, and I came to the final warlord who's hiding inside a compound. Instead of going inside the compound and risking my guys dying, which they would have if I went in, I went round the back and stood on a hill and shot him from there, which unlocked the trophy. After doing several missions in Portland, I got to the final one for Salvatore Leone. Salvatore sends Claude to collect a car from a location near Luigi's club. However, as I got close to the car, I got a page from Maria, who's Salvatore's wife, saying that the car is wired with a bomb and to meet up with her instead. Maria tells Claude that it's her fault that Salvatore wants him dead because she told him they were an item. I then got introduced to the Yakuza leader Asuka, and after travelling across the water, Asuka tells me about a safe house nearby, and once the cutscene ended, I got another trophy. Now Asuka wants Claude to prove his loyalty to the Yakuza by taking out Salvatore Leone, so I waited for him outside Luigi's club and then proceeded to dash Molotovs at him as he tried to escape. After that I went back to the safe house on Staunton Island and unlocked the right hand man trophy for earning a criminal rating of 2,500. After that I was travelling around the island and my car was about to blow up, so I got out and I accidentally threw a Molotov, which unlocked another trophy. You get this trophy for using every single weapon in the game, and I'm not quite sure why it unlocked when I threw the Molotov because I'd already used them. I'm pretty sure I did use all the weapons in the game by this point though because of all the rampages, so maybe I just got the trophy late. Next up was one of the most annoying missions in the entire game, and it's called Kingdom Come. If you've played this game before, you might have just had a shiver sent down your spine, and maybe you have nightmares, constantly seeing this man in your dreams while hearing this.
Here you go, I got a present for you. Come to daddy. Come here. Tick-tock, what's on my clock?
During the mission, you're betrayed by King Courtney, a man you've been doing a few phone missions for. He tells you to pick up a car from a car park, but instead you run into a trap set by Catalina. Then you have to blow up the vans while dodging these identical crazy bald men with bombs strapped to their chest, and the police start attacking you as well, not the bombers for some reason. After failing the mission a few times, I finally got there in the end and unlocked another trophy. At this point I finished all the rest of the missable missions in the game, so I didn't have to worry about that anymore. I eventually got to a mission given to me by Donald Love, and the goal is to start a gang war between the Yakuza and the Colombian cartel. To do this I had to steal a cartel cruiser and assassinate Kenji, who's Asuka's brother. After assassinating Kenji, Donald Love gave me another mission to retrieve some packages that have been dropped out at sea. After collecting all 6 packages and escaping the cops, I unlocked the offshore delivery trophy and access to Shoreside Vale. With access to the final island, it was now time to clean up all the miscellaneous activities around the map. I started off with the vigilante and firefighter missions and got the Furious First Responder trophy. I was getting beat up by some civilians and I managed to escape with less than 10 health, and after surviving for 1 minute I got the Liberty City Minute trophy. Next I finished off the unique jumps for the Wheels Up trophy. Then I went and collected the rest of the hidden packages for the Liberty City Secrets trophy. After that I completed all the RC Toys missions for the appropriately named trophy, Man Toys. I had one last rampage to complete, and it was the hardest thing in the entire game for me to do. You have to use the flamethrower to waste 20 cartel members, and even with body armor and full health, this was incredibly difficult. You just stood there out in the open in one location, and they all shoot you from across the street in the other one. I tried flaming through the wall at the second location, but that didn't work, and after failing this rampage about 15 times, I eventually got lucky enough to finish it. And I say I got lucky because I somehow managed to not even have my body armor destroyed when I usually got about halfway through before dying. Then just like San Andreas, the game crashed on me while I was on the way to save the game. Brilliant. After redoing the rampage, I finished off the rest of the story missions. During the final mission, Catalina kidnaps Maria and holds her ransom for $500,000. Claude arrives at the cartel mansion and hands over the cash. Catalina then claims she isn't to be trusted. I mean, obviously.
You have been a busy boy, but you haven't learned. I'm not to be trusted. Kill the idiot!
After disarming a cartel member in slow motion, he escapes from the mansion and he sees a helicopter flying above. Inside the helicopter is Catalina and Maria. There's about 7 minutes to complete the mission. I thought that was quite a bit of time, so I decided to go to the safe house before going back to the helicopter. I had all the weapons at the safe house, so I was now ready for anything. Catalina then leaves Maria with some cartel members and tries to escape in the helicopter. Luckily for me, I picked up the weapons at the safe house, so after a few shots from the rocket launcher, I watched the helicopter spin out and explode below. And after the credits finished, I got the Not So Fast trophy. Then I killed 25 gang members with a bat to unlock another trophy. All I had to do now was export all the vehicles. After collecting all the standard cars, I now had to collect a bunch of emergency vehicles. These were all really easy to get except for the FBI car. I had to get a high wanted level for the FBI to show up. When they did show up, I stood at my safe house and waited for them to come towards me. Then I'd reduce the wanted level with my bribes and tried to kill the FBI and steal the car. This took me about 4 hours to do because I kept getting killed over and over again. I eventually got one and I drove it super carefully to the crane. Once it was delivered, I got the Is That All You've Got trophy for achieving 100% completion, and finally the King of Liberty City Platinum trophy. I've now got all the platinum trophies for the trilogy in just under a month. I enjoyed all the games and I'm really glad I finally got to experience them fully. I'll be taking a short break for a while now before I platinum GTA 4 and 5, but don't worry because I'll be doing both of the games this year. Thank you for watching, I hope you enjoyed it. Click the links on screen now to watch the 2 previous GTA videos.